What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bug Discussions podcast, the channel, man. Yo, whatever you want to call it, it is the man J Coop, man, back for another episode of J Coop's Clips. And in this episode, man, we got to talk about a very, very unfortunate loss my Clippers took last night, losing to the Sacramento Kings 123-107. So without further ado, man, I ain't gonna waste no more of y'all time. Let's get straight into it. So coming into this game, man, the Clippers were actually without Paul George. And also since the Grammy road trip where they played 7 games consecutively on the road, the Clippers are going into this game 3-3. And now after this game, they are 3-4. But yeah, man, the Clippers honestly really just did not play a complete game at all this game. I mean, it was pretty much just catch up from the start, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, throughout the first quarter, man, the Clippers did have the lead at the end of the first 28-25. But other than that, man, this game by the Clippers was pretty much them just coming back the whole entire game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, early in the first quarter, man, when it was 12-9, Sacramento was up. Each team had 6 paints in the point at this time, and yeah, man, I thought it was going to be one of those games where both teams were just shooting abysmal from 3, so they were going to try to get their points mainly in the paint or within the 3-point arc. And that's really what it seemed to be, you know, throughout most of the game, especially for the Clippers, considering they only shot 30% from 3 this whole entire game, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, around the 6:25 mark, it was 16-13, and at this point, man, Keegan Murray had 5 of the Sacramento points, and also Harrison Barnes had 5 of the Sacramento points. You know what I'm saying? So both of these guys were kind of carrying the team scoring-wise in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, around the 4-minute mark, it ended up being 22-18. Sacramento was up. You know what I'm saying? But directly after that, the Clippers went on an 8-0 run, you know what I'm saying, to put the score at 26-22. And then, like I said, the end of the first quarter ended up being 28-25 in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers. And this was pretty much the only lead they had, you know, the whole entire night, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, the Clippers just got to get, you know, they got to be better at starting off games, but also being able to carry that same energy, you know, on throughout all 4 quarters, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the first, man, Harrison Barnes ended up finishing the first quarter with 7 points. Fox had 6. Domantas Sabonis had 3.6 rebounds and 4 assists at the end of the first quarter, man. So he was obviously doing his thing, not scoring-wise, because Domantas Sabonis ended up finishing the game shooting like 7 of 17 from the field. So he didn't have the best game offensively, but he really did finish with a pretty, you know, bizarre stat line that we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, man, the Clippers just, you know, like I said, this was their only lead at the end of the first, 28-25 for pretty much the whole entire game. But, you know, at the end of the first, Kawhi Leonard had 8 points. Zubac had 6 points, 4 rebounds. And, you know, Norman Powell, he ended up starting in place of Paul George, but he had 5 points at the end of the first quarter. And, you know, I will say I kind of didn't really like Norman Powell starting over, you know, Amir Coffey, because usually when one of our 2 wings are injured in Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, it's Amir Coffey taking his spot, which I like that a little bit more just because he can stretch the floor, obviously, as a wing. And he's a pretty decent defender, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think going forward, I'd pretty much like to see Amir Coffey take, you know, Paul George's or Kawhi's spot if one of them are hurt. But, you know, you can't go wrong with Norman Powell. He's a bucket, but I just like him coming off the bench a little bit more. But in the second quarter, around the 10-minute mark, the Clippers ended up going up 34-32 after a James Harden layup. You know what I'm saying? James Harden, he didn't have a terrible game. He finished the game with 20 points, but you just like to see him be a little bit more aggressive, you know what I'm saying? He did have a pretty abysmal shooting percentage that we'll get into a little bit later, but overall, man, just heavily contested shots. I think he was like 2 of 10 from 3 all night. So James Harden, you would really like him to see himself initiate himself in the offense a little more. You know what I'm saying? I can't really ask much more of James Harden defensively because obviously everyone knows he's not like an all-time defensive player, but I will give him credit where it's deserved, man. He really is a better defender than most people give him credit for, you know what I'm saying? He's a strong, you know, bulky guy that kind of just has a lot of strength. He's a pretty good post defender too, you know what I'm saying? I'll say that about James Harden. But for the most part, man, it just wasn't the best James Harden game. But around the 7-minute mark, the Clippers take a timeout after a foul on Norman Powell. The score happened to be 41-37 at this point, you know what I'm saying? Norman Powell got fouled. He went to the free throw line. But yeah, man, somewhere around the 4-minute mark, it was 46-42 Sacramento. You know, they ended up grabbing a lead after a 3-pointer. I forgot who ended up making this 3, but yeah, man. Might have been Kevin Huerter because he was tearing us up all night. Kevin Huerter was a problem in this game, I'm not going to lie, man. But around halftime, man, the Sacramento Kings were leading 58-51, man. Sabonis damn near had a triple-double at half, you know what I'm saying? He finished the first half with 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 5 of 13 from the field, you know what I'm saying? So he was doing this thing, but De'Aaron Fox, man, he was just killing us all night. He ended up finishing the game with 33 points, but at halftime, he had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on 6 of 12 shooting. So he was just doing a little bit of everything for the Sacramento Kings. He was getting downhill. I don't think he really shot that great from 3, but he was just doing a little bit of everything for the Sacramento Kings team, as he usually does, you know what I'm saying? But Harrison Barnes was the X factor, if you ask me personally, in this game, especially in the first half. He finished in the game with 10 points. I mean, this was halftime. He had 10 points at the half. He had 2 rebounds. He was shooting 4 of 6, so he was just super efficient for them. You know what I'm saying? Just doing his thing. But as for Kawhi and the Clippers, man, Kawhi ended up finishing the first half with 12 points, 3 rebounds, shooting 6 of 12 from the field, and he was 0 of 2 of 3 at this point, and I don't think he ended up making a 3 the whole entire game. I'm pretty sure he finished the game 0 of 3 from three-point land. So that's something, I mean, I'm not really worried about. He just, you know, an off night for Kawhi from 3. He usually gets some things to go. He's pretty automatic from 3, and he has been pretty much all season, but this is one of those games, you know. But Harden, man, at half, man, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So like I said, he didn't have a terrible game. Like, he was doing a little bit of everything for the Clippers when it comes to the offensive side, you know, facilitating the ball, scoring here and there. But at this point, he was shooting 2 of 8 from the field. So you just would like to see him be a little bit more efficient. You know what I'm saying? I love James Harden, but you just want to see him take better quality shots. And he was also 1 of 6 from 3 at half. So yeah, man, that just kind of goes into the bad shooting slump he was in. But Zubac, man, he was doing this thing on Sabonis, you know what I'm saying, throughout the first half of this game. Like I said, Sabonis did have damn near a triple-double at half, but, you know, from the field, his field goal percentage wasn't that good. So Zubac was playing all right defense, but Sabonis, he was finding other ways to affect the game, you know what I'm saying, in good ways. So, yeah, man, but Zubac, he ended up finishing the first half with 10 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 5 of 6 from the field. And Terrence Mann, 7 points, 2 assists, shooting 3 of 3 from the field. Terrence Mann was pretty big for us in this game, just kind of got us some timely buckets when no one else seemed like they couldn't, you know what I'm saying? But after the first half, the Kings were shooting 44% compared to the Clippers 55% from the field, and they were also shooting 28% from the field, the Sacramento Kings were, compared to the Clippers 27%. So that goes back to what I said in the first half, man. The first quarter specifically, man, where just both teams were not getting the 3 ball to fall, you know what I'm saying? It just was one of those games where most of the points were going to come in the paint, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, at half, man, the Sacramento Kings had 26 rebounds. Compared to the Los Angeles Clippers, 21 rebounds, you know what I'm saying? So it was pretty fair when it comes to the rebounding battle, but I will say the Sacramento Kings seem to just get the timely rebounds, you know what I'm saying? The offensive rebounds. I think they ended up finishing the game with 14 offensive rebounds compared to the Clippers' 10 offensive rebounds, but those 4 extra offensive rebounds can go a long way, you know what I'm saying? Second chance points right there that we gave up on. So yeah, man, you like to see that be a little bit better. But coming into the third quarter, man, Harden hits a 3-pointer to put I mean, not Harden. What the hell am I talking about? Kevin Huerter. Excuse me, everyone. Kevin Huerter hit a 3-pointer to put the Kings up 10 coming out of the half. Man, it was 51-61 in favor of the Sacramento Kings. At this point, I was like, man, they still have a chance to win the game, but the way the Clippers are playing this night, it didn't look like it, you know what I'm saying? But directly after that Kevin Huerter 3 to put them up 61-51, he came back down and hit another 3, man, to put them up 64-51, which really hurt, because at this point, I'm just like, because, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they were playing all right defense on Kevin Huerter. Like, he definitely got a couple wide open shots, but there was a hand in his face, you know, a couple of these shots. So I'm just like, there's really nothing you can do about that, man. Kevin Huerter is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He may not have been this season, but over the past couple of years, Kevin Huerter's been pretty reliable from the 3-point land, you know what I'm saying? But then directly after that 3, De'Aaron Fox got a layup around the 10-minute mark, you know what I'm saying? And that put them up 66-51. And yeah, man, that pretty much, I think it was a little too early in the quarter for Tyronn Lue to call a timeout, so he just let his guys go out there and try to figure it out, man. But the Clippers' first points ended up coming in the second half, in the third quarter, around 9-minute mark. You know what I'm saying? It was a Terrence Mann layup, so we got an easy bucket to go down, but man, it just was not looking good at this point, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the third, man, Sacramento, they were up only by 9 points, you know what I'm saying? after going down by 15, the Los Angeles Clippers did. So they cut the lead to 9 points, 89-80 in favor of the Sacramento Kings. But going into the fourth quarter, man, like I said, Sabonis, he was on one all night. He had a triple-double going into the fourth quarter, you know what I'm saying? He had 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists. On top of De'Aaron Fox, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and Harrison Barnes, 17 points, 2 rebounds, and he was shooting 6 of 9 from the field. So like I said, Harrison Barnes, man, you know, you could live with the other guys killing us, you know, Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, but once you get role players like Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter to go in too, that's just, as a Clippers fan, man, that's just something you don't want to see, because you're just making it harder for yourself to win the game, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, going into the fourth quarter, the Clippers leading scorer was Kawhi Leonard with 18.7 rebounds and 2 assists, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, going into the fourth quarter, man, it was pretty much the same routine it has been, just at least throughout this game, man, just not much defense being played. A lot of guys being left wide open, man. It was a little ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? But the Clippers ended up coming out into the first quarter, scoring 4 points straight, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, it was 89-84, only down by 5. But man, the Clippers, they just, like I said, every time it felt like they had an answer, man, they just could not find an answer, you know what I'm saying? They just could not get a consistent offensive flow going, and that kind of just was the name of the game. But in the fourth quarter, somewhere around the 8-minute mark, I seen a very interesting stat. The Clippers were sitting at 91 points at this time, and I seen a very interesting stat that said the Clippers starters had 79 of the 91 points for the Los Angeles Clippers at this time, and that was pretty much, you know, the story of the whole game, man. The Clippers bench really could not get anything to fall, especially when Norman Powell was moving to the starting lineup. That really just takes a whole other 18 point per game score off your bench and inserted to the starting lineup. So now your bench has to compensate and do a little bit more, which just was not the case, man. Russell Westbrook, he didn't have a great game from the field, but I feel like he did a lot of other things to help the Clippers in this game, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, the Clippers bench just has to be better overall, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I will say around the 7-minute mark, Terrence Mann got an and one, you know what I'm saying, to put the score within 5. It was 101-96 at this time in favor of the Sacramento Kings. But, you know, Terrence Mann was helping us out a little bit down the stretch, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, I think it was at the 5:49 mark in the fourth quarter, the Clippers call a timeout, you know what I'm saying, after a Malik Monk layup that put them up by 10. It was 108-98 at this point. So, yeah, man, at this point, I didn't really feel too confident. They were up by 10 with about 5.5 minutes left, but it's obviously a 10-point lead isn't nothing crazy, so they still had time to come back, man. But it just, like I said earlier, man, every time it looked like the Clippers were coming back a little bit, the Sacramento Kings, another wide open shot, you know what I'm saying? You got Davion Mitchell open for 3, Harrison Barnes open for 3. So it's just like, at some point, the Clippers just got to lock in defensively again and just put a hand up. That's all I've been saying. Is you don't even have to go like full out, sit in the chair defensive mode. Just put a goddamn hand in front of someone's face, man. Like, Jesus Christ. But I will say, man, right after that Malik Monk layup, man, Harrison Barnes, I believe, hit a 3 to put them up 111, and then Davion Mitchell came on and hit another 3 to put them up 114-98. And yeah, man, it was just, 114-102, because the Clippers ended up scoring 4 points within that time. So they ended up going on a 4-6 run, you know what I'm saying? A 4-6 run, nothing crazy, but you know what I'm saying? But still, it's just like, damn. But I will say, around the 2-minute mark, man, De'Aaron Fox, he made 2 free throws to put them up 118-105. And this was pretty much the end of the game right here. There's 2 minutes left, up by 13, the Sacramento Kings were. So, yeah, man, that was pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? But they ended up scoring another bucket after those De'Aaron Fox free throws to put them up 120-105. So it was a 15-point game at this time. And that's when the Clippers pulled the starters. That was around the 120 or the 130 mark in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, it was GG's. You know what I'm saying? Sacramento Kings kind of just ran us off the floor, along with all the other young teams we play, like the Oklahoma City Thunder, New Orleans Pelicans, all these young teams, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to read off some of the final stats for you guys, man, on the Kings side real quick, because these guys were balling, you know what I'm saying? These guys were hooping. De'Aaron Fox ended up finishing the game with 33 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 12 of 22 from the field. And then his, running mate, in Domantas Sabonis. Ended up finishing the game with a triple-double, like I said, but he had 17 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists on 7 of 17 shooting. So like I said, he didn't shoot the best, but he did a lot of other great things for the Sacramento team. Along with Harrison Barnes, who was actually really clutch in this game, man. He ended up finishing the game with 22 points, 2 rebounds, and also shooting 8 of 12 from the field. So like I said, just super efficient. He was also 4 of 7 from the three-point line. So yeah, man, Harrison Barnes was God sent in this game for the Sacramento Kings. He was tearing our ass up. Just every three he hit, every shot he hit, my heart hurt a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But Kevin Huerter had a really solid game too. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 6 of 10 shooting, and 3 of 6 from the three-point line. And Kawhi Leonard, he had an all right game. It was pretty average, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, he shot he really didn't shoot that right. He shot 7 of 18 total, so you would obviously like that to be better. He missed 11 shots total. He was 0 of 3 from the three-point line. So like I said, just one of those games where Kawhi couldn't really get a 3 to fall, which he normally does, but he finished in the game with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and also 3 assists. Norman Powell was leading the scorers for the Clippers, you know what I'm saying, at 21 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 8 of 17 from the field. James Harden with 20 points, 5 rebounds, with 8 assists, shooting 4 of 13 from the field. So like I said, not really the best James Harden game. And also Big Zoo, man, with 16.6 rebounds, shooting 8 of 9 from the field, man. So, you know, individually, I feel like the Clippers, they had, you know, like 4 or 5 guys scoring double figures, you know what I'm saying? 3 guys with 20 plus points, but it just wasn't enough, you know what I'm saying? Especially without Paul George. I will say, man, I love Paul George. He's been playing like shit, but the last couple of games, just due to that groin injury, or maybe he's just in his head. I don't really know, but regardless, having PG out there helps, regardless if he's playing well or not, just because that's an extra, you know, 6'9" guy that you could throw at someone like a De'Aaron Fox, you know what I'm saying, like a Harrison Barnes, a Kevin Huerter. So we really could have used PG in this game, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, the stats for the team, man, the Sacramento Kings, both were shooting damn near 50% from the field total this game. But I will say, man, the Los Angeles Clippers were abysmal from 3 of this game. They were shooting 30% from the 3-point this game compared to the Sacramento Kings 41% from the 3, you know what I'm saying? So they were just shooting it 11% better, which in today's NBA, that's always going to help you. That's always going to take you further than a team not shooting well from 3, you know what I'm saying? But the rebound battle, man, the Sacramento Kings only ended up getting 2 more rebounds, 41 to the 39 Clippers rebounds. But like I said earlier, 14 of those rebounds were offensive, and 10 of those rebounds for the Clippers were offensive. So we just got to be better at getting second chance points. But also another thing that helped the Kings, they had only 10 turnovers to our 15, you know what I'm saying? So we got to be a little bit better at handling the ball, stop throwing it away, just doing dumbass shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that pretty much does wrap up the game. Like I said, the Sacramento Kings ended up coming into LA winning this game 123-107. So hopefully, man, the Clippers can bounce back on Wednesday against the Los Angeles Lakers, man, a team that we, you know, have beaten pretty handily in the past couple years. But this season, man, I believe that the Lakers have beat us twice compared to our 1 victory. So yeah, man, hopefully we can get a dub, bounce back, but the Clippers got a long stretch ahead of them, man. They play 17 games in March, so they got no slowing down soon. That's pretty much all I'm going to say. But yeah, man, this pretty much does wrap up this video. If you enjoyed this video, found it informational in any type of way, make sure you hit it with a thumbs up. And if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe, because, man, I'm always dropping, you know, basketball videos. My guys, Taj, my partner, who I record the podcast with, drops, you know, reactions and stuff like that. So make sure y'all stay tuned, man. But until next time, peace.
In the jungle like I'm Conan, count over both hands. Switch the flow like it was broken. I'm on the road, man, making plays just like DeRozan. I shoot my shot, and that shit wetter than the ocean. I brag a lot, but with the wind and come the boasting. I made a lot from them apartments that I sold in. He didn't make it up to college, so them streets where he enrolled in. I know I'm a scholar from the moments that I was exposed in.